Sea level rise is already a pretty big part of the climate change conversation. Less talked about is what a hotter planet is doing to some freshwater lakes. They are getting warmer, which is leading to lots of toxic algae, the kind that can end up killing every other living thing in any given lake. That's exactly the problem at Lake Elsinore, about halfway between L.A. and San Diego. The small city that surrounds it has spent years trying to keep the lake healthy without too much success. So now it's trying something new. Marketplace's Kaylee Wells headed to the shore to see how it's going.
Last time Danny Taylor came out to Lake Elsinore 15 years ago, the algae was in bloom and the lake was not what he was hoping for.
Brown, smelly.
Not exactly a sight he was racing to return to.
I've been in the area, so I just never came back down to the water because of that.
When the algae runs rampant like it did 15 years ago, the city has to close the lake to prevent people from getting sick. Putting fresh water in the lake makes the bloom recede. The city of Lake Elsinore can pump it in or it can fall from the sky. And after a while, the algae dies off and the cycle starts again. The city wants to keep the algae to a minimum because it relies on tourists like Danny Taylor who spend time and dollars when they visit the lake. Jack Ferguson with the Elsinore Valley Municipal Water District says the city has invested in a marina, it spruced up the Lakeside RV camp.
It's booked out. I don't think you can book a weekend right now. It's already booked out for the weekends through the summer.
Then there's the big annual fishing tournament that just happened.
I think first place is $10,000. The real guys, the serious fishermen, come out.
And when the bloom is bad enough, business dries up. Fresh water bodies across the globe are falling victim to this problem as the climate crisis makes water warmer. According to the EPA, 40,000 bodies of water are impaired just in the U.S. Lake Elsinore is the largest natural freshwater lake in Southern California. Now, the city on its shores is spending $2 million to try out a new technology to fix it.
This is a very natural process that occurs in all healthy, balanced water ecosystems.
Nick Dyner is the CEO of Moleaer. His company's tech is in the lake right now, and as he explains, it doesn't use any chlorine or harmful chemicals. Instead, it uses trillions of really tiny oxygen bubbles, nanobubbles.
Nanobubbles are extremely small bubbles of gas, hence the word nano. They are 2,500 times smaller than a grain of salt.
Bubbles that small aren't light enough to float to the surface. They stay at the bottom of the lake, where oxygen is in shortest supply. Plants and animals then get the oxygen they need to stand a fighting chance. The algae starves, and everyone, but the algae, lives happily ever after.
In simplest terms, nanobubble treatment is helping the lake restore itself.
Standing on the shoreline next to a pair of fishermen, the Water District's Jack Ferguson points to a big, white cube sitting quietly about an impressive stone's throw from the water's edge.
That's a nanobubbler machine right there on that barge. That's it. It's probably 80, 90 feet offshore.
The machine has been there since December, and if you look down into the water now, it's a deep blue, hardly recognizable compared to what Danny Taylor saw 15 years ago.
I came back here to visit, and it's very clean. I'm really impressed. I'll be back here, definitely. It's really, really nice.
So far, it seems to be working. A kayaker peering over the edge can see 12 to 14 feet down. It's some of the best visibility the city has ever recorded. Now, it was a really rainy year, and that usually helps with the lake's water quality. In the hot summer months, the bubbles will have more work to do. The Water District's Jack Ferguson is
waiting to see how long this lasts and the water stays clear and dark blue, but I've never seen it like this.
You've never seen it this dark blue?
Never. This is first ever.
The city says its measurement of the water's resiliency has doubled, and algae concentrations have dropped by half in the worst spots and disappeared almost entirely in the best ones. In Lake Elsinore, I'm Kaylee Wells for Marketplace.